Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. Spawning in the 3 o'clock position on Metalopolis as the red Protoss, we have LiquidHuK. Spawning at the 8 o'clock position, we have, as the blue Zerg, NosLoki. NosLoki, not a good player. No, he's an amazing player. Not a player that I am aware of. Not a well-known player. But he is a Grandmaster, and he's playing against Huck, so he's got to be darn good. The map, as I said, is Metalopolis. It is a map that I like it as Zerg. It's a fairly balanced map. One thing that you always have to be careful of, for any player really, regardless of race, is that your natural expansion is wide open. There are no chokes to your natural expansion, so taking a fast expansion as Zerg player or as any other race can be just a little bit risky because it can be very difficult to defend this location. Units can attack from here, units can attack from here, and slip behind through the back. So it can be very, very tricky. And taking a third on this map can be just a tad tricky too. It's most common to take this third or for this player, or for the Huck position, it is easier to take this third. But it can be a little bit tricky sometimes to have to bounce back and forth between this base and this base to defend, especially if you have a bit slower of an army, like a Protoss army or a Terran army. So another thing that you need to be aware of on Metalopolis is that you always have this big wide open spot here for a lot of harassment. Drops can occur, drops very commonly occur on this ledge, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Huck get some Blink Stalkers and get some Blink action up on that ledge. But as you have now seen, the Forge has gone down for Huck, and Huck is now placing his pylon. We might be able to see some cannoning action here from Huck. Huck is now feigning with this one probe. He has pulled this probe back, and he's actually got a second one here. But no, Loki has now... He did not get to scout that Forge, I don't think. But there are now cannons going down for Huck, and Loki is pulling all his workers off the line to try to defend this attack. And 3 photon cannons have now gone down. Loki now pulling all his drones off the line except for 3, and LiquidHuK here with his 2 probes trying to micro a little bit, but both probes get trapped and both probes go down. I don't think either of these cannons are going to go up. Loki has lost a lot of mining time, but I think he has completely defended this photon cannon rush from Huck. So well played there by Loki. Loki is now just going to resume mining, and he has now successfully established an expansion. But through this exchange, Huck has also managed to start throwing down an expansion of his own, and it looks like he will be expanding to his natural shortly. In the meantime, he is chrono boosting out those probes, and if we check out the harvester count, they are dead even in the harvester tab. But because Loki is of course on 2 base now, his mining income should be just a little bit higher. Yes, he is transferring some of his workers back to his main, and this will allow for a very nice and balanced income rate of those minerals, and we should see a corresponding increase in income. LiquidHuK now just throwing down his gateway, going for a much more standard style of play after that early harass with those photon cannons. Still just chrono boosting out those probes. Knows that he was able to keep Loki pinned back there for just a little bit of time, so now he's just calmly throwing up. He's got a photon cannon at his natural. Nice wall off here. It's not a complete wall off, but he will probably be chrono boosting out a Zealot to block the remainder of that little hole there that Protoss loves to keep guarded there. Small worker transfer there from LiquidHuK. Looks like, and a third has gone down for NosLoki. Let's see, did he manage? Yes, he did manage to scout that there was this natural expansion going down, so this is a pretty common response from Zerg. Many times when they see a Protoss fast expand, they will know. As you can see right now, Huck does not have much in the way of forces. If we check out the units tab right now, he actually has nothing but probes. 28 probes for LiquidHuK, and that is all. He has nothing else on the field at all. Now warping in a sentry and chrono boosting that warp gate research. NosLoki has just decided to take his third. He knows that there aren't many forces there for Huck because he fast expanded, and so he's just like, you know what, I'm just going to take a third. You have a couple of options when you do see a Protoss fast expand. You can try to stay on one base, maybe two base, try to just get a lot of lings, and because he really just doesn't have that much, he is wide open to a big attack early on. But of course, this means as a Zerg player, if you go for that early attack, that means you are not going to have the drone count that you could have for that mid to late game. And as you can see from right here, holy cow, that is a ton of drones that I'm sure he will be transferring to his third. His income is going to be skyrocketing this game. He has not produced too many lings. I believe this entire game all he's done is produce 4 lings. He did produce 2 earlier that he used to scout. And now he's got a couple more lings just at the front, trying to see what's going on in the base of LiquidHuK, scouting the drone count, trying to see if he can get a little bit of probe damage done, but that photon cannon and these 2 sentries are going to deny any more information. Loki has not managed to scout up into the base of LiquidHuK yet. If we see, yeah, Loki's vision, he has not seen anything. He knows nothing about the tech that Huck is going for, and if he were to scout, he would see that there are actually 7 gateways down right now for LiquidHuK. That is a ton of gateways. Loki did try to come in with this scouting overlord to try to suicide in, but it looks like even with that, he didn't get too much information other than a couple of gateways turning into warp gates. A couple of pylons have now gone down for Huck. Looks like he's going to be going for an aggressive style of play where he's going to be warping in a lot of units here. And oh my god, a sentry gets taken out. That was a free sentry for Loki. Yeah, a little bit of miscontrol there from Huck. I don't know whether Huck just didn't know that those sentries were being attacked or whether he just thought that his 2 sentries could take on 4 Zerglings, but they most certainly could not, and 1 sentry goes down. Huck now moving in for a very aggressive move here with 6 Zealots, 8 Zealots, and 3 sentries are not out on the field. It will all come down to control of those force fields, and there go down the force fields by LiquidHuK. He has managed to hold back a few of the Zerglings, but Roaches are now out on the field, and Roaches are a very good unit against those Zealots, and I think Loki is going to be able to hold this attack off just fine. So very nice defense there by Loki. In the meantime, he has managed to establish his third. He is establishing looks like some defenses. He has thrown down a Spore Crawler at every base. This is in case there's any kind of crazy Dark Templar play or any Phoenix or Void Ray harass. So I like that move by Loki. He's just playing safe because he hasn't seen too much in Huck's base. Now that he has seen this massive force, though, coming from Huck, he must know that Huck is going for gateway units. And holy cow, Huck is macroing up a huge army. He's coming up with so many units. This is such a well-timed attack by Huck, but man, Loki established that third early base, and his production has just skyrocketed. He is just warping, or he is just morphing in those Roaches like crazy, and it looks like he is going to be able to defend a very big attack from LiquidHuK. Very, very well played there by Loki. Now, if there's one thing I have to comment on Loki's play, Loki is not getting much in the way of creep spread right now. It looks like he only has 2 creep tumors currently out on the field that he is spreading very slowly, and he does not have a whole lot of sight. And it looks like Loki is going to be going for a counterattack. He is sending in a squad of Zergling, taking out a lot of Stalkers, gets 2 free Stalker kills there for nothing, and looks like these Roaches are moving around from the back to try to pin these forces in the back, and yes, it looks like they are coming now. I thought they might be going there for that counterattack. Looks like a little bit of miscontrol there by Loki. Huck trying to warp in more units to this location and try to keep that pressure up. He has not yet taken a third. He is just going for a massive gateway push. Way behind in food right now. LiquidHuK had 80 food to NosLoki's 109 food, and it looks like Huck is being forced to pull back and retreat. Back at his main, or his natural rather, he is warping in a lot of gateway units, and he does have an observer coming in. Is a robotics bay down yet? I don't think he has a robotics bay down, so I don't think we're going to be seeing any Colossi quite yet. But I really think that LiquidHuK is going to need to take a third here if he's going to want to beat this 3-base production of NosLoki. This is just a massive amount of units that he is that Loki is managing to get up, and he is moving in for a bit of a counterattack here. This is a lot of roaches. Looks like he has a total of 24 roaches that he is moving across the field, and Huck, I don't think he knows that this attack is coming yet. There is a Zergling. Huck tried to expand there to the third, but a burrowed Zergling prevents that from happening, and yes, he is pulling the Observer now to come spot that one Zergling. Really annoying by NosLoki. It's always a bit of an annoying move to when a Zerg player plants that Zergling. That is basically 25 minerals that he has invested in this one Zergling, and he's denying this expansion for a good amount of time. He denied that expansion, I would say, for a good minute or so. So that is really going to mess with Huck right now. Huck now getting some Immortals out. Still no Robotics Bay going down, so he won't be able to get those Colossi up, but he knows that NosLoki is going for that heavy roach style of play, so these Immortals should do fairly well against these roaches. Huck finally managing to establish his third, and it looks like Loki is just going to sit back and macro up a Storm right now. Looks like he did kind of start to push in there, but he didn't want to commit to too big of an attack, so he did pull back. An Overseer now coming down. Again, I don't think he has managed, I don't know if he sent anything into the base of Huck. Looks like he did, but all he managed to scout was a bunch of gateways and warp gates there. A lot more gateways here going down for Huck, walling off his third. This is a move I like by Huck. Anytime you establish that third. Oh, very nice move by Loki here. Loki is pushing in with these Zerglings to try to take down this wall before it is established, while he pushes into the natural with his roaches. But looks like he managed to get a couple gateways there, but now it looks like he's just going to be pulling back. Twilight Council actually also going down for LiquidHuK, so it looks like we might be seeing maybe some Templar coming soon. Twilight Council is not yet gone, rather not a Twilight Council, but a, oh my god, I almost called it a Citadel of Adun. Citadel of Adun, but that is the wrong game. LiquidHuK is spotting this army by Loki. Loki is keeping a massive army up here, and a lot of Banelings have just been warped in, and they are being loaded into those Overlords, so we are going to see Baneling drops, ladies and gentlemen. These can be very, very strong against Protoss players. Stalkers do okay against Banelings. They don't do great, but man, when they are just dropped all over your Stalker force, they really can just do massive amounts of damage, because it's very common for Banelings to be... Oh my gosh, I can't get a chance to finish this sentence right now, because there are a lot of Banelings that are about to be dropped all over the forces of Huck, and a lot of Banelings are being dropped, doing a lot of damage to those Zealots, getting a lot of Zealot kills, trying to move in, trying to get a lot of Stalker kills, and a lot of damage being done here by those Banelings. A lot of forces being taken out, but nice pullback there by Huck. As all the Banelings finish dropping, he is now moving in with those Zealots, and these Immortals are just doing massive amounts of damage to all these roaches. The Banelings have now all been dropped, and these Stalkers are now moving in to clean up these roaches, but is he going to be able to hold this? More roaches are streaming in, and the GG from LiquidHuK. Holy cow! LiquidHuK unable to muster up the forces needed to defend that attack, and that was just an excellent attack by Loki. He just managed to establish that early third, macro up a Storm, and defend that early attack from Huck. Huck was forced to just sit back, try to take his third expansion, and Loki just used that expansion timing there by Huck to try to just macro up this big force, denied that third for a little bit, while he macroed up this giant army, and as soon as he knew that Huck had expanded and was starting to get down some production buildings and was spending his money on getting gateways down and other buildings rather than military units, he just moved in with a massive attack and was able to take Huck out. So, well played game there by NosLoki. Manages to take a win off of Huck. So, that was a very good, very good, excellent, well-played game there by Loki. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. That was a fun game to cast. I really enjoyed that game. That was a really awesome game. But if you liked it, please comment, please subscribe, please tune in. Well played, guys. Glitch out.